All right, I got Death and Nuclear here.
Yeah.
Let me uh let me get a screenshot or not a screenshot, but just a browser image on the stream.
Rest in peace.
All right. Hopefully this is good enough quality, but anyways, gonna do a classic coin flip to see who gets side selections for games 1 and 3. And pickaxe. Oh, I gotta unmute you. Okay. All right, pickaxe. Let's see.
Yeah. I got trolled. Feels bad, man.
XD.
What's up, Buckley?
Yo, what's up, man?
Good luck.
Yeah,
All right. Let's see. I guess I'll just call it. Heads goes to Square One, and tails will go to Rabid Raccoons. All right, here we go. Let me see if the stream's actually showing it properly. Just keep. What is this? What is it?
Cybercoin?
I don't know.
What's
Why
up?
is the? Why am I getting a Windows thing? It's weird. Is it bugged? The the hell?
NA production.
Okay, well I flipped the coin and it was tails.
hell
Do
yeah.
you guys trust me enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I am satisfied.
We'll have to check the buckle points of the coin first, and then. No, I'm just
Right.
kidding.
All right, so that means Rabid Raccoons are gonna get side selection for games 1 and 3. So what side do you guys pick?
Let me talk to my team first. I have no idea.
All right. Well, I'll go to the caster box. You guys can give me the answer in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, guys.
All right, later.
And I'm back, and I'm here with Devin Sama and True Light, and they're gonna be casting this match for everybody. And,
Hello,
Hello.
hello.
take
How's
it away,
everyone
fellas.
today? All right. So tonight we have the season 5 play-ins placement tiebreaker between the boys Square One and the fellow boys Rabid Raccoons.
Fellow boys. Nice.
Yeah.
Although, it looks like we're still waiting on one person.
Yeah, I
Unless-
think we're waiting on one, I believe.
Okay, that would
Actually, no,
be...
no. He's there, I believe. They need to get on their sides.
Okay, so it looks like they've selected red side. Okay.
All right, so while they get into their right
Proper
spots,
orders.
yeah, in their right orders. So yeah, tonight this should be good. It'll be a best of 3 between the two teams to get that last spot into season 5. It should be a good match. I hope both teams come with all they've got. It looks like a pretty even team or pretty even game. So I don't know. I don't
Personally,
know
I just hope that we see a best of 3. Because
Yeah,
that's
I
what we're
wanna-
here for.
Yeah, I want to go all 3 games. So let's hopefully that happens. That'll be good.
Hopefully, though, the most important thing is that not all 3 games are stomped. So I'd really like to see a close game here between the two teams. And considering the fact that both of the teams went 2-2 in play-ins, it's probably pretty close.
Yeah, it'll be pretty close. I do know that since there was only 9 teams in the play-ins tournament, it kind of like messed some things up as far as seeding and placement.
Yeah, I mean, I can offer a bit of insight into this since I was in play-ins. I was on the bottom end of the 2-2 teams. I was on Team Sapphire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were all kind of thrown off by the whole 9-team bracket, especially with like how the way buys worked. And considering that, that's actually why we're here, because there were 4 2-2 teams coming out of play-ins, and Rabid Raccoons and Square One are the top 2-2 teams, and they are the ones duking it out for this final spot in the regular season.
All right. So there you have it. There's the inside scoop on the play-ins debacle of the 2-2 teams. But here we have Square One. They did really well. They kind of got the unfortunate end of the first round going against Spellichat, the undefeated team of the play-ins. So they were pushed down into the lower end of the bracket, but they are here to show that they deserves that spot, and so is Rabid Raccoons as well.
I mean, if it were left up to any degree of superstition, I would actually have to say that Square One is looking pretty good. You got every single person in the same club, that club tag synergy. But then you look at Rabid Raccoons, there's one guy who's on that out. It's over, man. Like, it's done.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I might be a little biased here, seeing as I am the Square One mascot here. I'm repping the Square One tag myself.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say you're a square.
No. No. So, I mean, I might be a little biased, but I have to cast properly and fair, so I have to also...
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. We're going to cast, we're going to analyze, we're going to get hyped.
Yeah, we're going to make this as hype as possible for you guys. This should be a fun game, or should be some fun games. Both teams seem like they're good and they can make it into the season, so... I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get started. But we're chilling here, having a good old time in the lobby.
So I guess we should just take this moment to talk about the meta, what picks we might think come out from either side. I think obviously the big deal until tomorrow when the patch comes through. So the big deal for the last, 12 hours, give or take, of the patch is just that jungle meta storyline where you're talking about this high damage, early aggression. You're looking at Graves, you're looking at Xin Zhao. I've been playing Vi personally. I had maybe 3 or 4 Lee Sins today, and all of them but one. Oh yeah, can't create the Camille. But yeah, I had 3 or 4 Lee Sins. All of them but one started red and did a level 2 gang.
Huh.
And they got first blood consistently every time. As far as I think we are ready. Honestly,
I think they're waiting on us. All right. Looks like they are ready. But I agree. The jungle meta is the main topic right now as far as how strong it is, and the different dual champions or like dueling champions in the jungle at the moment. They're really strong, and they cause a real big impact on the map at like very early in the game. So we'll see what bans are going to be coming out from both teams as far as that goes.
Yeah, looking at both the profiles of Norp on Square, right?
Yeah.
And then as for
Long, I believe.
Okay.
Wanong. I think he's actually
I think he's a sub.
Could be a sub, but yeah.
I think he is a sub because he's not on the roster list that I see here. So let's take a second. I'll look up Mr. Wanong here. Or Mrs. We don't judge.
Yeah.
It's 2018.
No judging on this stream, okay?
This is actually pretty interesting when you look at the two profiles. Flyers has this like repertoire, as far as I can tell, of like tanky junglers with engage. Whereas Wanong here, you see the tank in Zach, but he has 33 games played on Jax, 23 on Kayn, 18 on Warwick. He seems like he's willing to play those engage, those high damage picks. Is he super efficient on them? Outside of Jax, not necessarily. But
All right.
I think, okay, well, there's the Graves band coming through.
Yeah. So obviously the Graves band is going to be first out here. Really strong jungler, probably the strongest of all the dueling junglers at the moment. And Poppy goes banned for deaths. That's not a surprise.
Yeah.
All right, and the Rakan band. Rakan is just really strong right now. I'd say he's first, if not second, best support right now in the meta. So I'm not surprised that one's
I don't know what you play. When you are solo queuing or playing with your friends, as a support main, like it is frustrating to play against a good Rakan.
Oh, I love it, dude. I love Rakan.
Okay, well then.
Yeah.
No, I said it. It's frustrating to play against a good Rakan. I think it's even worse for me because I know I'm not that great on him. But the next two bans, Urgot and Caitlyn. Urgot from Raccoons, Caitlyn from Square One.
Urgot, another ban out for deaths. He loves both of those, Poppy and Urgot champions. So not surprising that those two are gone from him. He's really good on both of those. So.
And then, as far as the Caitlyn ban is concerned, Caitlyn is just an incredibly strong AD carry at the moment.
Like in any meta.
Yeah, just with those traps, she'll just burst down pretty much anyone. Along with just the fact that she just scales incredibly well with her range.
Yep, and then
First
the Aurelion
pick.
Soul ban for Pickaxe. Yeah, he's been playing a lot of Aurelion Soul lately, so I'm not surprised that one's gone. And
Okay, so like the tails of the two bans so far are really just priority comfort bans against Square One and more meta bans against Raccoons. Now, I guess that actually says something about the two teams, what they want to prioritize, what they think they need to ban. I think the Raccoons are like, okay, we think that these people are either going to overperform on these champions if we leave them up, or they're just going to, like, they're not good at meta.
Right.
And we can abuse that. And yeah, maybe you can even see that with the picks.
Yeah. Now, I do like that they picked up Ezreal first for iGlory because he is a pretty good Ezreal, and Ezreal is strong. But they did pick Morgana and Skarner on the back end of that to just for the extra for the engage is pretty much the really good team fight synergy of both, and the ability to pick from Skarner is going to be really troublesome.
That's true because you're also taking Morgana away, which would deny an engage from Skarner with a good time Black Shield.
Yeah.
Although what I will say is that without a binding, their engage so far as it looks like on this comp is just Skarner running at you, which is something that can be anticipated. And it's not even something that's terribly difficult for Ezreal to handle, especially if he already has an Iceborne Gauntlet, or his team is just peeling for him. And definitely, I think an Elise and a Zoe can do that. Like, Zoe definitely someone that can be a little abusable by a Skarner pick, I think.
Indeed, yes.
I'm actually kind of surprised by the Elise pick here with the nerf to Runic Echoes, the movement speed being taken away. People have been talking about how Elise was weaker.
Yeah, I was also thinking the same thing, but I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't too sure about how I felt about the Elise pick myself. But they did pick up the comfort pick for Pickaxe on Zoe. He actually really likes playing that champion. Although I do know he does not like Zed, so he'll be really tilted in that call whenever he plays against that. Right.
Well, I think a good Zed can just run away with a game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with those gold changes this patch, making it like so much better to snowball, especially if you get that shutdown gold. You can get like that burst of 500, 600, 700 gold, and you just take the game back, or at least make things really, really good for you.
Right. Now we do see the Ornn ban out for Deaths again, another ban. So that's 3 for him, and then the Janna ban for Roma. She used to play that Janna heavily, so I'm not surprised that they're going to that one. Now the Kaisa and Sivir ban, I know, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, their AD carry is Diamond 5, and he's probably the best player on that team, and he's a really big threat. So I'm not surprised that they took away those champions, and they're going to probably stick him on something that
I
can
mean,
help engage.
I might assume Zaya. Oh,
Yeah.
Ash. Okay, well,
Yep.
actually, yeah. There's your engage tool for this Garner. Like Ash has consistent slow. She has her ultimate. Even if Ash falls behind, her ultimate maintains the same degree of utility.
Mm-hmm.
But decidedly, I would say it's kind of a low damage comp coming out from Raccoons. The Morgana doesn't really deal a ton of damage. It's like, yeah, she can get burst down with her Q and her ult, and some AoE down with the W, although it's a bit inconsistent. But really, the damage seems to be front-loaded for the Zed on the Raccoons comp, whereas with Square One's comp, yeah, the Yorick pick here, I can actually see a lot of damage coming out for them. The problem is, I guess for both of these comps, Square One relies on an Elise cocoon
Yes.
and a Nami wave.
I don't like the Elise pick here. I don't like it for this team.
Yeah, I actually think this is pretty dangerous for Square One because they lack consistent crowd control, and their wave clear mechanic is Zoe.
Yes.
If either of these things can be abused by Rabid Raccoons, Square One is in for an incredibly difficult game.
Now, they did pick up the Tom Kench for their top laner here, and that team, they're really gonna want to try and engage. Otherwise, I don't know what they'll do, because they're like, that team is very, very in your face. Like, we're gonna try and team fight. Like, both of the teams have rather limited engage tools. I think that picking Tom Kench can help Rabid Raccoons get into the backline, get into the middle of Square One. But I think it's kind of interesting because I don't see those super consistent engage tools outside of, let's say, the Ash ulti on Rabid Raccoons. Square One, I think, are facing more of an uphill battle here. Mm-hmm.
So I guess we do have our time for the delay to talk about more about the game.
Yes.
So I guess we could just talk about matchups.
Yeah.
I think laning matchup wise, we did discuss the Zoe and the Zed, the double Z mid lane. As far as it's concerned, you said that Pickaxe does not like laning against the Zed. You can see that he has the exhaust there.
Yes. He definitely doesn't like it. His thing is he just doesn't really know how to really deal with the aggression of an assassin too much. So taking the exhaust will help that to an extent, but he will have to deal with that Skarner early ganking and probably more than likely focusing on that lane, since that's where most of their consistent damage is going to be coming from. So he's definitely going to try and get that lane ahead. But I think you do see the Ezreal here with the cleanse.
Yeah. I was actually going to comment on the bot lane matchup. The Ashe Morgana, you have Heal Ignite versus Cleanse Exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much more pressure coming out from the Rabid Raccoons bot lane, with Ashe having superior range, really decent poke with her W, not necessarily better than Ezreal's. And then just with Morgana having her Dark Binding, her Q, and that Ignite. The Nami Exhaust is not going to do anything against the Ignite. And the Ezreal's Cleanse is really only good against the Dark Binding. So, in my opinion, Uklar should just be focusing, throwing those Dark Bindings out on the Nami, pressuring her to stay back. If she walks up, she'll get punished either by Ashe autoing her and CCing her down so Morgana can land the binding, or God forbid, Morgana lands that binding and Nami gets 100 to 0, albeit a bit slowly.
Yeah, because the Ashe is going to do at least some consistent damage, but not much. So it'll definitely have to land that binding to lock her down and try and get that damage down.
Yeah.
So the side of Square One, their bot lane, they're more than likely they're probably going to sit back and try and farm with that Ezreal Q.
Mm-hmm.
But we will definitely see how that goes. It's probably going to be a really slow bot lane. we're more than likely going to see a lot of mid lane action with the mid laners and the junglers, with the occasional gank bot lane, because Elise is definitely going to want to try and get those ganks off, and it should be a fun game.
Personally, I'm actually kind of interested in the top lane matchup between the Yorick and the Tahm Kench there. Because Tahm Kench, whenever you see a Tahm Kench top lane, it's like, oh, there's no way this is going to work. Tahm Kench, oh, God, he killed my top lane. Oh, he did it again. Like, is it going to be that game? Or is it going to be Yorick just smacking Tahm Kench in the face with that shovel of his, throwing up the wall because Tom has no escape mechanics against the Yorick.
Right.
So that top lane matchup in some ways might decide the pacing of the game. If top lane gets jammed up for square one, that's actually incredibly bad because they would have effectively had 3 losing lanes. With questionably equivalent scaling on either side, I would say, as far as damage goes into the late game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna want to. Tahm Kench is more than likely gonna try and TP to help out his team, whereas Yorick is more than likely not gonna want to use his as much, but he's probably gonna want to pressure lane a lot, so he can get that split push off that he's more than likely gonna do for the game, with the occasional TP to help out whenever he needs to match the TP of Tahm Kench. But he's going to do a lot of split pushing this game, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think the other important thing to note is that Tahm Kench does have that global with the TP and also the semi-global with his Abyssal Voyage.
Yes.
Especially as you get more ranks in that, it's just going to be more and more dangerous, especially if he wants to take, let's say, Ashe along and like become a split push threat if that's what they have to do. Because that's just incredibly hard to deal with.
Yep. Now we are finally into the game.
Yep. You see Square One putting pings down into the middle lane brush, possibly looking to catch anyone out from Rabid Raccoons. And I would say it's a good pick comp for level 1. If they get spotted out, though, don't think it's that great.
Right.
Well, they spotted the Morgana.
All right, so they're definitely going to. They're not gonna want to go on the Morgana here, just because they know that one of them will be binded, and she'll more than likely just escape. So they're just gonna.
Well, Morgana actually hasn't put any points in. If they really surprised her, maybe they don't get bound at all.
They do see the Skarner in mid lane, so we will see what they're planning on doing here in this brush. Looks like they're just gonna stand here and wait, but yeah, they're just gonna walk this one out.
Just like 2 ships passing in the night.
Yeah,
they
just
will walk
barely
away.
missing each other. They're just gonna walk on out.
Maybe this is something I should talk to my team about, because if it was us, we might have just gone for the kill.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a really good surprise because, as you said, Morgana did not take any points into any abilities, so you could have surprised her really quick.
That's true.
With the Elise or the Nami bubble, but
so yeah, it's looking like some pretty standard lane assignments here. You don't see any of that high aggression jungle because the jungle picks aren't for it. I think it's pretty interesting though that you see the Elise take red buff and path straight into her blue side river. So
yeah, with the scuttle changes, they're going to be focusing a lot on the scuttles early.
I mean, if it was a straight 1v1 Elise versus Skarner early, I actually might give it to the Elise. If Skarner doesn't have his shrine, which maybe that's why. Yeah, that's probably why the Elise went up into the blue side. Looking for the invade onto the red buff, though.
Right. Because she does have a better clear than Skarner, I believe, so that she can just clear that first buff and then take the scuttle, and then right after go straight into that enemy jungle like she's doing right now. So,
But yeah, as you can see here, already with Square One's bot lane, the Nami sitting roughly at 60% health. It's absolutely brutal just getting pushed in like that. I think she ate a binding earlier, which is why she's so low.
Yeah, so she definitely needs to be careful with that much health. I mean, she does have the heal from the W. However, I'm sure she wants to try and keep that for other uses rather than just healing herself over and over again.
And it's also incredibly costly as far as mana is concerned. Like, playing Nami is really fun, but if you press W a few times and you're suddenly out of mana, it's not quite as fun anymore.
Yeah. Now we do see the Skarner from Rabid Raccoons looking for this gank top, but I'm not. I think he's just gonna walk
he's just gonna back off.
He wasn't gonna be able to get anything off from there. You also did have the Elise on the top side of that jungle, so she would have collapsed on that fairly quickly.
Yeah, and even with, you see that Yorick's mana is regenerating up now, but it was sitting at roughly 30%. With that corrupting potion there, he's just going to be able to have the mana to probably even fight out the 1v2 at first, with Elise coming into 2v2. You see Elise getting pinged out here by Madlife mid laner, walking through the ward placed there near her jungle entrance. Yeah, so far it looks pretty standard. I actually do like the wards that have come in from both sides trying to spot out the Raptor camp.